This is the true story of the incident that created the legend of Arlington's Screaming Bridge. If you grew up in Arlington, Texas, you've probably heard many versions of the story of Death's Crossing, or the Death Bridge, or Screaming Bridge. Maybe you visited River Legacy Park and entered the Trammell Davis Bridge thinking that it was the real Screaming Bridge. It's not, but it's a more fun and scenic place to visit. I've always been interested in the legend considering I spent many nights around Arlington river bottoms where the real tragedy happened. Driving in a car around Arlington with your friends late at night was what we did for fun in the 80s, and as it seems, for much longer. Historically, the location of the Screaming Bridge incident has always been a place where frisky, reckless, restless, desperate people frequented. The isolation and darkness keeps the prying eyes of responsible authorities at bay. The incident that created the Screaming Bridge legend began on February 4th, 1961. It was a dark, cold, misty Saturday night. Six 16-year-old girls, Mary Lou Goldner, Claudia Jean Reeves, Kathy Fleming, Donna Post Galbraith, Donna Epson, and Joanne Anderson, all juniors from Arlington High School, had just finished watching the movie Butterfield 8. Elizabeth Taylor starred in the movie, and her character ironically shares a similar fate in the lasting urban legend. A seventh girl, Kathy Domer, would have joined the other six girls that night, but her parents would not allow her to see Butterfield 8, which was considered risque for the time. After the movie, the girls went cruising back roads of the river bottoms of North Arlington along the haunted Trinity River bottom. About 10 p.m., the girls were parked on the side of Arlington Bedford Road. A car passed the girls going north. The car was driven by 18-year-old Bill Young. Bill was taking his girlfriend on a date that night. After Bill's car passed the girls' parked car, he approached the wooden bridge over the drainage ditch that ran up to the Rock Island Railroad tracks. Bill hit the brakes when he noticed the bridge was out. It had been destroyed by a fire and was hard to see in the dark. The span of the bridge was 40 feet long and 10 feet over the ditch. Half of the bridge was missing. Bill stopped the car 2 feet before the edge. Bill worried that the parked car he passed earlier might drive north towards the burned-out bridge. He turned around and drove back to warn the occupants. The six girls watched as Bill's car was rapidly approaching from the north. Bill started honking his horn and flashing his headlights to get their attention. On the dark, foggy road, the girls became frightened. Bill quickly stopped in front of the girls. He rolled down his window to warn the girls, but before he could speak, the girls started their car and sped past him. Mary Lou Golder accelerated north, away from the scary, erratic car. After the girls fled from Bill, he turned around and followed the girls. Bill tried to wave them down with his arm out the window. Bill later estimated the girls were traveling about 50 miles per hour when they reached the burned-out bridge. Mary Lee Goldner's Chevy soared through the air and crashed into the opposing bank. When Bill reached the bridge, all he could see through the fog was the Chevy's taillights and the ditch below. Bill jumped down the embankment, skidding and slipping through the gravel. He could hear one girl whimpering. He told her, "I'm coming down. I'm coming to help you." They were still inside the car. I could see the driver. She was a very pretty girl, not a mark on her. Bill climbed the bank and drove to the Hearst police station. He returned to the accident scene with the authorities to help with the rescue. Tarrant County Fire Marshal Manson Langford coordinated the rescue effort that night. It was a very rough operation, Langford recalled. It was cold and there was sleet coming down. State troopers and police from Arlington, Euless, and Hearst freed the girls from the car and moved them up the slippery embankment to 6 waiting ambulances. The other 3 passengers were seriously injured but survived. Passenger Kathleen Fleming was declared dead before she arrived at the Dallas hospital. The following days after the accident were filled with sadness at Arlington High School. The flag stayed at half-mast for a week. Snow had fallen. Students began the ritual of visiting the survivals and attending funerals. Mary Lou Goldner, Claudia Jean Reeves were buried in Moore Memorial Cemetery Gardens in Arlington. The follow-up. An investigation into the accident revealed that on January 27th, 9 days before the accident, 4 Arlington teenage boys had stacked straw on the wooden bridge and lit it on fire as a prank. When the four boys learned of the fatal accident, they confessed to a minister who notified the police. A grand jury decided to indict the four boys. Grand jury foreman Marshall Kennedy said that grand jury felt that no good would come of blighting the entire future of a group of bright, conscientious, and religious young men. What was done on the spur of the moment, a childish prank. At the time, the boys did not fully realize the consequences of their actions. Kennedy said that the grand jury thought the four boys deserved a new chance to make good, and we all feel that they will do so. The four boys, all of whom had been students at Arlington High School, knew the six girls. One of the boys had even dated Kathleen Fleming. The site of the accident is still there. The road it's located on has been decommissioned, but it's still located off Greenbelt Road. The stretch of road that leads up to the site is blocked off by concrete barriers to keep people from illegally dumping. The site is still accessible by foot at the time of this video. If you wish to visit the real Screaming Bridge site, the start of the road is located at 2598 Greenbelt Road, Arlington, Texas. A quarter mile down the road is the mound where the original accident occurred. Let us know in the comments below what you experience if you visit the site. Thanks for watching Rogue for a Day.